Women and children, hungry and cold, are desperate to board those buses and escape the fighting. These are images of some of those evacuees alongside my next guest. Filmmaker and actress Kárla Ortiz has been on the ground in Aleppo speaking with locals and capturing conditions in and around the city. Kárla now joins us live. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me in your show.
Oh, I think that you're sharing a most important story. Before we dive into what you've been seeing in Syria, tell Americans why they should care what's happening in Aleppo.
I think that many of us have been feeling extremely powerless about all the situation in Aleppo. We've been feeling angry and we've been feeling desperate, but we need to learn how to channel these feelings into real actions. And we need to really understand that these people have been going a very brutal war for over 6 years. And it's really time for us to take a decision as human beings and to understand and help these people reach the peace that they are really, really longing. I was able to be in Syria, not just in Aleppo, in the final days of how people have been evacuated from one part and the other. And we're so desperate for news and to help. And we feel this powerlessness that we are, spreading news that some of them are not, especially, and we're listening to all the people, and we try to interview all these other people, but I'm telling you, these are real footage of people leaving Aleppo. There was not mass shooting. Of course, there's mass bombing. There were 47 terrorist groups, plus the rebels, plus the Free Syrian Army. Everybody's bombing against everybody. This is why a war is never a good idea.
Tell us, Kárla, like what life was like for some of these people simply trying to live their lives in the home that they probably inherited through generations. What was their life like?
Well, you're talking about one of the oldest cities in the world. It has over 4,000 years. Their stories are stories of tragedy and hope. You would never understand unless you look at the eyes of a Syrian. Their message is actually of love, of peace and forgiveness, and rebuild their homes. And actually, it's very disturbing sometimes for us in the Western that we get this devastation from a different point of view, but they are absolutely sure that they are going to rebuild their homes. When people are crossing from the east to the west, the two words they had is Alhamdulillah and Allah Karim, which is God is generous. And thanks to God, and they tell you how they were starved, how they were deprived from education, how if they would dare to cross to any other side, the terrorists would kill them, how the little girls are being used for that sacred jihad, sexually abused, and it's really It's really way too much. And I can tell you also, I was looking at the previous note about the girl tweeting, it is impossible. I've been there, there is no internet. I mean, especially in East Aleppo, there's no electricity for more than 85 days over there. And 3G, only very few people have. I was with people of the United Nations, and I was with people from BBC and everywhere. And you cannot send a tweet when you're in the front lines.
So how was Bana able to tweet then, do you think?
I don't think, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but I was in Aleppo. I don't think she was in Aleppo. And I understand this whole thing. I want to see real footage. Show me real footage when she's being taken out, and I would believe it. Like real girls over there.
Why would she be lying about that, or not telling the truth about where she was located?
There are 47 groups, like I'm telling you. I was myself. There was a lot of attempts, and I was kidnapped twice, and they make you fearful. And there's a lot of, fearful, and there's a lot of families as well that are, you either do this or you say this or we're going to kill you. You're talking about people that behead people. You're talking about people that don't behave like us. Their human structures are completely different from us. This is why I think they are using, it's not Bana, it's not, she's just a child, and even my point is that even terrorists have children, and these children should have a choice. You understand? It's just massive. Everybody's dying.
I understand why you might be suspicious, because also in your documentary you say that some of the people boarding those buses meant for evacuees are actually rebels or terrorists themselves.
Well, yes. Well, you actually have, you know, I was there for like 10 days on the time of the evacuation. I am watching this, and people are telling you their own stories, and they're telling you, you know, like they tell you like that guy is a terrorist. They said for them it's just Daesh. They don't care if it's a rebel, if it's a free army. They don't care what it is. And the most important thing for us, you know, is, like I was saying at the beginning, how can we channel now in real actions? Our politicians need to sit in the Congress and the United Nations as human beings, you know. We need to listen. Probably at the beginning, we are the most powerful nation in the world, and power can create real change. And maybe at the beginning we thought people wanted support, and we supported the rebels,
right,
and we supported the opposition. But now it's time that we sit and help and listen really the voice of Syria, which is, let's end the war. Please give us peace. Let us go to school. Let our children get educated. I was walking on top of little dead bodies. I had to smell the smell of dead skin. And this war must stop,
right,
because as human beings and women, we understand as a mother, as a sister, and especially as a daughter, that our children have the choice to have a choice. And every decision we make now in the entertainment business, as a newscaster, it has to be to help them end this war.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences within Syria. Carla Ortiz, thank you. I'll be right back.